Alright, here is something that you might find useful, and let's hope that you do. There is like a way to implement something that is not like, as we discussed before, like how to create a new habit, but it's something more like a system to create motivation. Let's go. Well, at least how motivation works like there's a certain system that I have it written in here called craving, motivation, pursuit, and reward. I'm gonna explain this to you, which this is just theoretical. I have nothing like to implement right now, but I think that you should consider this and probably find a way to implement this. I'll give my own ideas to and try to experience them, so I can also give better advice on that. But for now, it's just theoretical. Alright, let's start. Alright, here let's start with something with the book. Okay, Atomic Habits, of course. I mean, as I mentioned before. No, here it is something interesting that emotions conduct a behavior. Now, what does exactly mean? Right here it says that are in every decision is emotional in one way or another. Uh, it doesn't matter what reasons or what logic reasons you have to do something, you only feel motivated to do that because of a feeling. And that's the thing, because I mean you could provide like a lot of different things, like why you should go to the gym, why you should eat healthy, why you should, I don't know, start reading books. I mean, or even like, or just a simple, why should you go to work every morning? You could provide a million different reasons. For example, why should you go to work? Also, because I earn money. Or why should you read a book? Because I'll gain more knowledge. Or why should you go to the gym? Because I'll be fitter. Or and why should you eat healthy? Because I'll be healthier. I mean, you could provide a lot of reasons for everything. For example, you want to be more disciplined in your diet, or you want to experience it in many ways. You want to experience your food. Many reasons, right? Whatever comes to your mind. But you only do that behavior because you feel motivated to do so. It doesn't matter the reasons that you have, if they're logical or not, it doesn't matter. It's because of a feeling that you do those behaviors. You get healthy because you feel what? Motivated to be healthier. Or what? To feel more, or you feel motivated because you'll be more disciplined. Or I don't know, many things. For example, going to the gym, you feel motivated because you're the fitter, or you're motivated because you're going to go out into nature, like to jog or something, to meet new people probably. I don't know, many reasons, as I said, but it's because you feel motivated to do so. That's why you do the behaviors that you do. And it's not just like the good habits, but it's also like the bad habits, of course. Like you continue doing the things that you normally do because you feel motivated to do them. For example, playing video games, you feel motivated to get different rewards, to get new bosses, to meet new people in there, to do to get some like little pranks that's going. I mean, many reasons, it doesn't matter. The point is that you feel motivated. Okay, you do the behavior, whether it's good or bad, because you feel motivated. That's the point. Let's go into it. Now, here is something. Here, being curious is better than to be intelligent. What does this exactly mean? I'm gonna read it and then I'm gonna break it down for you. Okay. So, keeping motivated and curious, it's better than being intelligent, because the first one conducts to an action. Being intelligent will never produce results on its own, because it doesn't include action. It's a desire, not intelligence. What provokes the action? And then he cites Noble Ravikant, a quote from him. The trick to do anything consists on first cultivating the desire for that thing. I mean, I guess that this quote explains very much itself, but still. Now, let's read that one more time, the last part. The trick to doing anything consists of cultivating the desire first for that thing. So, what does this mean? That you have to cultivate the desire. It's like when you see what a bean, for example, you first cultivate that bean, and then you get a plant. But you cannot go plant the bean if you're not motivated to do so either. Like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what to say. But what I understand from this is, for example, you want to do something new, right? For example, as I said, study the habit that I want to implement. By the way, that is going great. I don't know if you saw the last video, whatever. For example, for that habit, I want to implement it. So how can I apply this for that? Well, here, well, according to that, then first I have to cultivate a desire for that thing. So I have to cultivate a desire of what? To study, right? But fusing it with the other things that we saw before, like the identity-based goals specifically, then I would, I will need to cultivate the desire to become what? A person that studies, right? Yeah, like a top grade student or whatever. A person that studies. As simple as that. Like, you have to become, you have to cultivate the desire to become that type of person. That's the thing. Or or even a simple. Let's not just talk about habits. Let's just go into like clean your room, like once in a week or something. I don't know, once a month. I don't know how often you do it. So for example, or I don't know, once a year. That is not something regular. But let's suppose that you want to clean your room, or that you have to clean your room, but you don't feel motivated. You don't want to do it. So the first thing that you gotta do is to cultivate the desire of doing something. Like I imagine that you could do like to imagine yourself doing that certain activity in your mind, for example, or moving things in here around and listen to music, doing something that you enjoy doing in the process, and keeping things nice, keeping clean. I mean, making the room look nicer at your own style. I mean, you see, you're starting to being creative with such a simple thing as cleaning your room, and you're generating what you're cultivating a desire. You're generating a desire inside the thing, and with that desire, you now feel like a little bit more motivated to go to actually go and clean your room. Now, something that I want to talk about here is, as I said before, the system of craving, motivation, pursuit, and reward. How does this exactly work? Or what is this in the first place? Well, I'm going to show it to you and explain it, of course. No, no, first of all, before getting into that, I'm going to explain something real quick that I think that it could be necessary for you to understand. Right, so here I'm gonna grab a piece of paper right here, and I'm gonna listen in here. I'm gonna be aware of that. Do not do a mixing here. It's just like suck at driving. Anyway, let's do this. There we go. Now, you know what is this? Most likely not. So, I'm going to explain this. Let's suppose that these are like dopamine waves, okay? Yeah, dopamine waves. Like, if you don't know what dopamine, what dopamine is, then it's like an emotion that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like pleasure. Let's call it. It's like it's not really an emotion, but it's not like something in the brain. I'm not like a science guy or not doing that. But the simple explanation will be that it's something in your brain that makes you feel good, like dopamine equals to pleasure. So you can go by that if you want. Alright. So these dopamine waves, like what are they? Like what do what do they represent? Here's what I'm going to explain to you, my friend. No. Let's go like what? Well, these are like these are dopamine waves, as I said. What is the difference between these two? That this one is like only one and is really big, isn't it? Well, these ones are like smaller. They are like constant. Like they keep the same pace. What does this mean? That this, for example, no, I'm gonna break it down. This is when you experience like something really hard. For example, I don't want to do that. Let's put an example. What? A drug, cocaine. Okay. So cocaine, for example, you inhale cocaine and you feel a huge peak on your dopamine. Like it's huge. I mean, you feel like the pleasure and everything that you're feeling or something. I don't know what you feel, but it's really high pleasure. That's the point. But then after that, what comes next? That dopamine peak comes down. What does that mean? That there is a crash on the dopamine. That your dopamine comes down. What does that mean? That you feel less pleasure over time until you actually go below baseline. If you don't know what that is, I'm gonna explain. Well, there's like a certain level, okay? Let's imagine that there's like an imaginary line here, okay? Like just a little bit below this one, okay? Yeah, straight line in there. So this one rise up and then came down, but then went below baseline. I'm gonna drive it to you, brother. Alright, I don't know if you sense the difference. So for example, here is normal. You experience that cocaine that you inhale, it goes up, you feel the pressure and everything, then it goes down. What happens next? Well, the science are based on that. It should be going like all the way here, but we want to complicate ourselves that much. So it goes down, and then what? It comes down even more than it was before. So you see the difference? What does that mean? That your baseline for the dopamine comes down. What does that mean? That you feel less pleasure. And when less pleasure you feel, what is the opposite of pleasure? It could be pain. yeah, you feel pain. I don't refer to like a physical pain in this case. It's not in this case. But it could be like your your mental state. Let's put another example. Let's see if I can explain it better. For example, playing video games. Something that is more common. At least for me, it's like more common. Now you play video games. No, wait, no. Let's say that example. You know what? We're over with this one. I'll explain it to you in a little bit more because I need to explain the other thing that I have in mind to for you to better comprehend this one. Let's see. Now this one. What is this? You see the difference between this one? Yeah, this one is just one and it's big. And this one, what are the small ones, but are constant. And that's the point here. They are constant. They are what? Repetitive, fluid. What does that mean? That you like all that you always feel in this state, like not so elevated, but not like depressed either, not like normal. Let's go like with a little bit of motivation, with a little bit of desire to act. So this is the ideal one that you should have. Where where this goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And not that much, of course. When it goes up, it goes down just to the baseline, and then it goes up again a little bit, then it goes down on baseline, or goes up again, and so on. So what does that mean? That you feel like it's not like extremely motivated, but you feel like energized at least to do things. That you don't feel like all lazy, like sorry. For example, that you don't feel like doing your chores or something like that. If you're like in this state, if you acquire this dopamine level, like for your life, like for the whole day, like doing your chores won't be any trouble, like because you'll feel like energized. You'll think to yourself, hey, like why shouldn't I do this? I mean, the house is all messy and hey, it's something productive that I could spend my time on. So let's go ahead and do it. I mean, this is like the mentality that you acquire because of this. Instead like that was just like, oh yeah, let's do it, and you do it, do it. Well, especially with a bad one, with a bad habit or something, you do it, but then you calm down, and you end up doing nothing afterwards, since it's not constant, and you even feel dismotivated, even demotivated. That is because it's below baseline. No, let's go to the system of craving, motivation, pursuit, and reward. What is this? How can you call it? It's not a medal. This system works, this mechanism works. Yeah, let's go with the mechanism. I'll draw it to you, and this one will be perfect, I promise. I hope. No. Alright, there we go. Hell yeah, what a masterpiece of drawing. What a masterpiece. Hell yeah, what a masterpiece of drawing. Yeah, I know. I know that you were expecting something bigger from me, or something better from the master, but this is not quite the case, I think. No, but this is just a start, okay? Alright, so what does this mean? This is the baseline for the dopamine. You're here in a neutral state, you don't desire nothing, you don't want something, like, you're just pretty okay. But then, something rises up. That is a disorder. I'm gonna show it to you again. Oh, I'm gonna add more. So, Yeah. No, here, as we said before, this was baseline, but then it went up. What is that? That, my friend, is known as a desire for something. For example, what? Let's say an example. For example, you're hungry, so you desire food. Like, let's put in a specific type of food. What? Mexican food, for example. So you're normal there, but at one point, for example, at noon, that you're usually hungry at that time, I think. Or at least for me, say that. So then you have a desire for food, and in this case, Mexican food. So you get a desire for that food, and what happens next? I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna draw it. Yeah. Here. As we're saying, baseline, you desire something, you desire that Mexican food. And what is this? This is not the depression that we're talking about. It's not like the unhappiness. It's something different. Can you guess? That's right, my friend. You probably didn't guess. But anyway, this is called motivation. Like, wait, motivation shouldn't be up in here? Not really. I mean, yeah, this is just your. Alright, so you're normal, you have desire for Mexican food, and then this desire calm down to a point below baseline. But that doesn't mean that you're depressed in this case. It means that you have like a certain unhappiness. I mean, it's true. You have like a certain unhappiness, but you have that unhappiness because you don't have your desire. I mean, is it clear that here's the desire, and then you realize that you don't have your Mexican food, and you're unhappy because of that. This is called as motivation, because you're unhappy that you don't have your Mexican food. So you actually have like the energy to go for that Mexican food that you want, to reclaim it. So it's like you convert that unhappiness into motivation or something like that, because you don't want the thing that you want. Isn't it that? Now, after the motivation to act, what's next? Well, I'll better use another color to explain this better, because you could get a little bit confused. Hold on. Alright. Oh yeah. We're back. Alright, so I was saying, you're normal, you experience it aside from Mexican food, and then you have the motivation, that unhappiness because you don't have the Mexican food, so you now feel motivated to go for that Mexican food. What happens next? Now here. Now, You experience the motivation to go for that Mexican food. So what? You went to the restaurant or order it as you prefer and receive your Mexican food. And this returns to baseline when you actually experience the food and it's like as you expected. Like it's not good nor bad. I mean it's just like normal. Like you expected, nothing more, nothing less. It's just normal as it should be. Okay, nothing special, nothing bad. Just normal. So this one returns to the normal one. It returns to a normal state. But let's change the situation. You experience all of this, but let's change the result. I'm gonna show it. Let's show you with a different result. Alright. I don't know if you can see the difference in colors. I guess not. I don't know. This one right here is blue. Yeah. This one right here is overlaying. Yes. So, holy shit. In 6 minutes. Alright. So, baseline, you experience the desire for Mexican food. You feel motivation for that Mexican food. You order it, then you order it, or walk to the restaurant, I don't know. And then you receive your Mexican food. And what happened? That it exceeded your expectations. That the Mexican food wasn't as you expected. It was so much better than expected. That you actually love it, like a 10 out of 10 that you will do it again, will eat it all day. I mean, I don't know. Like a high pleasure thing. Like something that you enjoy really, like you truly enjoy this, that you really enjoy this. But something like this is really like likely to happen, of course. But you really enjoy this, like what the whole like this dopamine increase, like went like to a peak, and when you have a drug or something, yeah, the dopamine went to a peak. But just why don't we change the situation again? Let's see. Now, for example, now we change the situation. One second. Now, here's more evidence. This is a red line that is below the baseline. So let's go quick recap. You're normal. You feel desire for Mexican food. You feel the motivation for that Mexican food. You walk to the restaurant, order whatever you prefer, and then you receive it. What happened next? You received it, but no. Well, there are many options here. Let's suppose that you received it, but it wasn't as expected. It was worse than you expected. Like you didn't like it. Like for example, it had a garbage inside of it, or the meat was was raw, or the food was so cold and hard. I mean, I don't know, whatever. But the point is, you didn't like it. No. Or another example, that you walked to the store or you made a call, but the place was closed, no one to attend in there, and you had to return to home, or simply to not order Mexican food. So you feel what? You feel this below baseline dopamine. I mean, you can call it unhappiness, yeah. So you experience this like downfall in the dopamine. You experience like disappointment. That's right. You experience disappointment. Let's see. No, here's something that really kicks in, especially with addiction. That is when the below or the baseline is, the more that you want a thing. I mean, I got this from Andrew Horman's podcast. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing like a quite good job explaining it. I don't know, but he explains something like this, which the lower the baseline the dopamine is, the higher motivation that you want for something. And this can be like including addiction as much as in good things. For example, experience cocaine, you experience the peak of cocaine, this one right here. And as you remember, that peak comes to a crash that goes below baseline of that happiness. And what happens when it's below baseline? You get motivated to get what you don't have, to get the desire. You have the desire, you have that motivation to get what you don't have, to experience again. You get that motivation, you put in the work, and you get it. But then, since cocaine, the transition from the baseline, from the bottom, like below baseline, to the peak, it's really fast. That transition is really fast, and that fastness, let's call it, what causes at the end is that it will crash below baseline even more. So, for example, let's go back. I don't know if I can go right in there. Let's see. So, for example, you're normally here, right? My goodness. Normally here, right? You experience a desire for the drug. You experience the motivation too. And then you put in the work and you get it and you experience it. Normally there's like a space in here in order to experience the pleasure, right? I mean, I didn't explain it quite well with my Joshua Robbins, but yeah, there's like a space. It doesn't quite like happen immediately, unless with the really good food, of course. But when the other ones, like, they take their time. Yeah. Now, since this, like, the period, like, the time of transition is really short. Sorry. Yeah. Like, this line doesn't exist. It just goes straight like this to the peak. And with that peak, it comes to a crash that goes below baseline. But then, the below baseline level you also know as unhappiness. And that unhappiness means motivation. Motivation to experience it again. So you put in the work again to get that thing again. You get it, experience it. What happens next? You experience another peak in dopamine that it also crashes down. And this time it goes even more below than the level that you had before. And then you experience even more craving for the drug, even more motivation to get it. And then you get it, another dopamine peak, even more below baseline, even more. I mean, it just goes. It's like a tornado, like a loop. Okay. This really doesn't have like a man. Like when you start, like when you're gonna try to something. No, I mean don't try. But For example, people start like this. For example, oh, I just try it, but then they like it, they generate a craving for it. That is just continuous and continuous. That's how they become addicts. That's the thing, and the thing is that it's not just with drugs. It also happens with other things too. For example, what pornography. For example, over there, because it's uh, because that peak occurs by pleasure. That's the thing. That peak in the dopamine that we talk about is caused by pleasure. So, for example, you're below base and you have the desire to watch it, you have the motivation, like you have to put in the work to search for everything like that, and then what? When you do it, you're experiencing it, then it goes in here, right? It rises up. But when you finish and everything, like it's over, then it goes like in a crash. It goes down again and below baseline. Then after a while, after hours, days, I don't know how much time. Let's suppose that you're just starting, okay? Like I don't know, like a couple of days, couple of weeks even. I don't know, even months. Who knows? But after a while, you have like that unhappiness still affecting you, like that motivation to get the thing that you want, that makes you feel good. You want to experience it again. The thing that you don't have. That's the thing. Listen to that. The thing that you don't have. So, what does that mean? That you watch that because you don't have anybody in your life. And you watch that because you don't have love in your life. As simple as that. Now, you want to experience it again. You like it. So, you have the desire again. That it also comes down to, well, you're already below, right? So you have more motivation than desire in this case. You have more unhappiness to do that thing. You have more unhappiness for not having that thing, or not worse motivation to put in the work to go do it again. So you do it again, it goes up, and then another crash that goes even lower this time. And just continues the cycle, like with the cocaine. Like it's the same. Or what? Could video games work? I mean, they can bring pleasure, so I don't see why not. Let's see, video games you're in a normal state, you get desire, oh, I wanna play, I don't know, Bloons, Don't Starve, Terraria, I don't know, Minecraft, whatever you play, I don't even know, Roblox, if you play that, I don't know. So you have the desire to play something, that it comes down to motivation, again, like the dopamine comes down, and then transforms the unhappiness or motivation. You experience it like you're playing and everything. When you finish it, like your ending session, it's called like that. What happens? Your peak in the dopamine was so high for all the instant gratification, like all the lights in there, I don't know, you're experiencing, it goes to crash. That goes below basing. And then you create it again to play again. Why? Like, why do these things surge up? Like, I think that we generate these addictions because or lack of necessities, of primal necessities. Like, we all have the need for love, right? That's why we search for pornography. Or we all have like the need of being accepted in a trend, of having status, of having power. That's where the video games kicks in, where video games kick in too. Like they let you, what, be, I don't know, maybe champion if you're wearing in a shitty game or something, man. It provides you with a status, like, yeah, it just sabotages your mind to things. And you continue to do it, doing that activity while your baseline becomes lower and lower and lower. And what happens with that? Like all compile, when your baseline is too low, at one point you feel depressed. That you don't even feel like even pleasure, man. That you need to be constantly doing those things to feel something even. I mean, that's what happened to most of us, I think. At least to me that happened. that by doing too much of the instant gratification activities, I ended up depressed and almost killed myself because of repetitively doing all those things. So my baseline became lower and lower and lower over time. That's exactly what happened. Now, let's see. Holy 40 minutes. Next time ever, I think, yeah. But nice video. I mean, it was something that I wanted to explain. Like, this is really crucial. Like, if you want to understand procrastination, right? I mean, at least Andrew Huberman's, well, at least that's what I understand from him. You should watch him, like, his podcasts are really good. Well, I hope that you found something valuable in this lesson. I mean, it's not something that you could implement, of course, since I give nothing, unless that you want to, I don't know, create your own methods, as I said in the beginning, of of seeing yourself doing that activity, and you probably get that desire to do the active thing, and it goes the loop, right? Well, in this case, the loop is a little bit different since it will go back to normal in this case, and you won't generate any addictions or something like that. That's something you understood this theory, but this theory decision, I don't know how to call it. But anyway, do the woodwork and make your family proud. Goodbye.